everyone, and welcome back to I May Destroy You by The Verdict's In. I'm your host, Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we are talking about the new HBO series or mini-series, I May Destroy You. Season 1, Episode 2. This episode is entitled, Someone is Lying. Although it should have been entitled, Simon is Lying. And I'm so freaking disappointed in him. I was disappointed in him last week, but I'm very disappointed in him this week. But before I get into my thoughts, Gary, what are your overall thoughts of the episode?
I think you're right. Simon's lying. Well, I know you're right. I don't know why he didn't tell her that he left her. He doesn't know what happened. He's sitting there trying to be the good guy or saying that, I walked you back to your room. This happened.
Right.
But I wonder if she would have asked him by himself, not in front of his wife, would he have gave her the real deal?
Well, the thing is, he had a chance to come clean because when they called him at work, remember? They
Right.
first tried to call him from her phone and he dodged her call. Then when Terry called from, her phone or whatever, that's when he picked up. So he could have solved this without his wife being there for the conversation.
Right.
That's all on him. And that's pretty fucked up if he knew that she was messed up and he still left her. Because maybe he did the same thing to Alyssa.
What he did was selfish. Just period. When you invite your real friend somewhere,
Right.
You're supposed to be there. You're supposed to protect them.
Right.
Like, I'm not inviting any of my girlfriends, any of my friends that are women, ladies. I'm not inviting them anywhere and not being there to make sure, men and our dogs out here, especially at these clubs, I've never had or never heard of any of my friends having this happen to them where someone put something in their drink, spiked it or anything. But if I'm there, none of that's getting past me.
Right.
If I invite you there, I got you. Period.
And let's just say her drink wasn't spiked, even though I think it's pretty clear at this point it was. Let's just say she just had too much to drink. He still should have been there for her. Like, clearly we saw her tumbling over and everything else last week. He should have been there for her. All right, so let's get into it. I want to first talk about a little bit about Terry. So we got to know a little more about Terry this week, and we find out that she was actually Simon's friend first, or Simon was her friend first, and then somehow she must have introduced him to Arabella. Because that's when the episode first started, she's like, yeah, you went out with Simon on a weeknight? She's like, that was your friend first. And then that's when Terry you could tell she felt a little way because she's like, yeah, so where was my invite?
Right.
Like, why was I invited? And then later on in the episode, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but when Arabella says, I'm tired of being left alone, like, we should make a pact not to leave each other, just like what happened in Italy. And you could tell Terry got offensive and something happened there. It doesn't sound like it was the same thing that happened to her last night, but something happened in Italy where they must have split up. They went out that night and they must have split up. And although Terry must have said, hey, I'm going home, Arabella may have been too fucked up. It sounds like they were on a lot of drugs, but you could see there was some unspoken, there was some stuff that hasn't been resolved yet.
Something happened. Maybe she got lost.
Yeah.
She couldn't find her way back to the hotel. Something happened. I don't think it was this serious. But obviously, she feels some type of way about it. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't have brought it back up.
Right. And then Terry even cried. And then that's when Kwame was like, oh, is it your audition? And Terry's like, yeah.
I think she cried about something else.
I think she was crying about that.
Audition.
I thought she was crying, honestly, about this.
No. That's what Kwame said. He said, was it that bad? Because probably what happened wasn't that serious to be crying. But she already felt some way about her audition. That this right here was... You could tell she was upset about the audition. So Kwame just read right through it. Like, okay. Man, was it that bad?
We'll see. And I want to get to the audition. One thing I want to add since we're talking about Arabella saying, like, we need to make a pact not to leave each other. I'm pretty sure you remember this story. I don't have all the details, like, in my head right now. But a few years ago, there was that case where that girl was found dead at the hotel, like, in the freezer. And everyone's like, what the hell? And then, remember, everyone was like, foul play. And then finally when video comes out, it shows that she was drunk or something and she stumbled down to the freezer and must have got locked in like an empty freezer or something. Yeah, she was alone.
What do we think?
Well, the video,
we didn't see all the videos.
Yeah, there. I mean, I know some people still question the video. There were some like pieces that were, well, it's not like the hotel shows every single corner.
Right. Like, I don't question what we seen because we seen her by herself.
Mm-hmm.
I just question if there was anything else and if there was any more
Any
video.
foul play.
If there was any foul play.
Yeah. But my point, the reason why I bring that up is because you should, I mean, I thought it was like a thing that women do anyways. When we go
unspoken
out,
rule.
It's an unspoken rule. We stay together, we protect each other. And even when the young lady I was talking about last week in the episode, the girl I saw at the club, I kept asking her, where are your friends? I know you didn't come here by yourself. Where are your friends? So,
well, that's just an unspoken rule, period.
Right.
Like, if I invite anybody out, like I said, I got you.
Right.
It's an unspoken rule.
We came together, we're leaving together.
I'm not going to invite you out, and then I see something, I'm like, I'm out.
Right.
And we already know what it was. She said every Thursday they get together for the last 6 months.
Yep. So I wonder what lie he's been coming up with. Well, I want to get to that later, but I do wonder what lie he's been coming up with. Let's go ahead and real quickly just go and talk about Terry's audition. Since we saw last week she was talking about this audition. It's for a commercial, for a beauty ad. But it's not just like her auditioning as an actress, because they ask her for her IG name, how many followers she has, and I'm like,
that's the new thing.
I'm like, why is that important? If you're hiring the girl, hire the girl. Like, what does that matter?
New thing. Like, IG is very important in the industry now because they want someone with a big fan base.
Right.
So once they put it out there, that's like lazy advertising. It's either lazy advertising or just plain smart advertising.
Yeah.
Like, if I get someone that has 100,000 followers, I know once they post it, that's 100,000 people that has the opportunity to see what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
If you get someone with like 500 followers, yeah, back in the days before IG came out, Facebook and all this, they probably would have been more perfect for the job. They'd have been better for it.
Yeah, it'd be based off their talent or something.
Yeah, it would have been based off talent, but now it's like, how many IG followers?
Yeah.
Everything is a business. We're not getting the best people. We're getting the people that could do the most for us. And the more followers you have, the more you can do for this product.
Yeah. And I know, like, I feel like we need to do better with our social media because social media is so valuable. People are making so much money on social media, and it does matter how many followers you have. I remember a few years ago when the Kevin Hart situation, he got into it with his, like, whatever movie was coming out and they wanted him to promote it on his IG or whatever.
Ride along or something.
Yeah, and they're like, pay me. He's like, pay me. And they wanted him because he has so many followers and that's more eyes. And so that it is another part of your business. I mean, some people use
they
it
were
for
asking
fun.
him to post it.
Right. And some people use social media just for fun, but I see it as if it is a business or if it is a way for you to make extra money, then yeah, your followers do matter.
Right. Because if I'm going to post it, and I have, like, I think Kevin Hart had over 1 million followers at the time.
He had to have more than that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just say he had 3 million.
Yeah. So it's a business. His IG account, that's his personal space. If he chooses to post something on there, then
It's
guess
work
what?
related, yeah.
They need to pay him for it.
Yeah.
They need to pay him these millions of dollars they be giving for advertising.
Yep.
Add him a part of their marketing budget.
Because that's just another part of his advertisement. And as of right now, I'm looking at his IG. He has 92.9 million followers. Almost a billion followers. I would be too scared to post if I had that many followers. Like, that's too many eyes on me. I have like 100 followers. I don't post anything, though. But I have like literally like maybe 100. I don't even know if I have that many, but I clearly don't post
that
either.
definitely goes back to what we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
That if I'm going to post something on my personal page, y'all need to pay me for it.
Yeah.
Y'all need to add me a part of that budget.
Yeah, I agree. Because at first I was like, that's wrong. That's like, it's your movie. Just go ahead and promote it. But I wasn't thinking clearly. And I think a lot of people at first, because that was like sort of when social media was still, I'm not going to say brand new, but people weren't using it in the way that they use it today.
Well, a lot of people don't see everything as a big business.
Yeah.
We're not looking at it as these people are getting free advertisement, free promotions. They're not paying the artist for that.
Yep.
And when I say the artist, I mean like the actor, actress,
they paid him for the movie,
musician.
and that was it.
They're not getting paid their due diligence.
Right.
And the people, the big heads are trying to use them to support whatever they're doing. Like I said, nowadays it's lazy advertising. I'm going to get somebody with a big IG following. That's for the music industry also. Like, it doesn't matter if the musicians have talent. If they have a big IG following, we're gonna grab you up because there's more people that's gonna see what you're doing.
Right.
People are already supporting you.
Well, then they ask her, what's the most freeing thing you've ever done? And I guess she wasn't really expecting that question. So she was kind of like, she kind of froze up. She didn't have anything to say. Although later she does, right before she leaves, she says having a threesome, I guess, was the most freeing thing she's ever done.
I was like, word. That's the most freeing thing you've done, having a threesome.
Hey. But the thing I didn't like what happened, and I could tell she felt some type of way as well, and it's something that I feel Black women, or just women of color, but mostly Black women, we have to go through out of life, and that's getting asked about our hair. Like, it's annoying as hell being asked if this is your real hair. What does it matter? If it's real, do you like it? Doesn't matter if it's real, doesn't matter if it's not. So I used to get asked that question a lot, especially in San Diego. And the women that were asking it were mostly 99% of the time white women who had themselves extensions. And it's like, I wasn't going up and asking them if their hair was real. I could clearly tell it wasn't. But but I just think it's sort of a rude question to ask, because like, what is my answer if I say yes or if I say no? How's that going to change the scope of this conversation? Are you going to get dreadlocks? Are you going to try to ask me where you can get dreadlocks yourself, or lock some type of lock yourself? So I thought it was like, I know it took her back, because when they asked that, I was like, did they really? Like, why do you care if it's her real hair? And I know, and then they did say, well, like, we have to get it wet and wash it, and she was like, oh no, it's human hair, it can get washed all day every day, okay? But then they said, well, can you take it off now? Bitch, I am not here for your entertainment. I'm not gonna take my wig off. No.
Yeah, that was weird.
No.
Can you take it off now?
Like it's like no, she's not like on display for you to like. That's kind of how I felt. And maybe they would ask anyone this question, but I doubt it. And I think that's why she was like, damn, like they really went there. But she had to keep her composure and couldn't even really say anything because she's trying to get this job.
She said she wasn't ready.
Yeah. She's like, I have to get it. She said, I have to get it ready. I was, yeah, maybe another day, but I have to actually like prep it. It's a process.
Like, she probably having it cornrows or
yeah,
something.
It's a process. So, which tells you why it's also important to have diverse people behind the scenes. Because if you had people behind the scenes, not just in front of the camera, diverse, you would also know that, hey, this is part of what it's like, having Black hair.
Right.
But I thought she did a pretty good job, and I don't think she's gonna get it based on how they were acting. But there'll be other jobs for her.
I think she did a pretty good job. Her followers, I think that they weren't too impressed with it. That's when I was impressed, because
I was impressed. 7,000,
they weren't too impressed with it. And like you said before, they wanted to see her hair. It was a lot of things that they asked that you wouldn't think would be part of the movement they're trying to do.
Right.
Because it seems like they wanted to do a woman empowerment.
Yeah, but then it also seemed like they needed like the words that she was saying was sounding like they did need different people looking different. Like, I am woman. They didn't want someone that, not saying that she's not beautiful, she is, but they didn't want someone that was quote unquote like a beauty pageant beautiful, Well,
they probably already have it. She probably fill in the slot.
Okay.
Like, they probably have a white woman,
a black woman. Then they're like, oh, we already have one that looks like you. We need someone else.
They probably have, how they have.
Yeah.
They have 3 different white women.
Yeah.
Because they think if their hair color different, it's diverse.
It's not. Yeah, it's diverse. We got a redhead,
brunette,
and a blonde,
redhead.
Yeah. Yeah. So poor Terry, but I guess we'll see later on if that's why she was crying. Honestly, when she started crying, when both women started crying this episode, I wanted to cry because we see Arabella cry as well. So let's get to her part of the story, unless you have anything else you want to add with Terry.
No, we can move on.
All right. So Arabella, we see her hanging out with Terry, and they have breakfast, and she starts talking a little bit more about, like, I don't know, like, things are just weird. I see a guy, She goes home and takes a nap, and she tries to go home and take a nap. I love that when Terry put her to bed, she's like, where's your head wrap at? Yes, we do not go to sleep without it. So I did like that part there. It just showed how close that friendship is.
Yeah.
And then some other flashbacks that we got also this episode was an ATM. So could you tell what was going on in that ATM situation, or was it just too quick? Like, do you think she got robbed, or what did you think was happening?
No, I don't think she got robbed. I did at first, but after she thought of the ATM, I'm pretty sure she would have checked it.
Mm-hmm.
She would have checked her account on her phone or whatever. So she never mentioned again that she was robbed. She just know that night she was at ATM.
Right.
So I mean that's a good flashback to have. So you know, like, hey, I remember doing this that night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been nights where I got messed up,
Right.
but just alcohol though.
Yeah, yeah.
Just alcohol.
Not that 5 additional drugs. But hey,
not
but
the other drugs.
according to
just
her,
alcohol.
weed and alcohol are not even real drugs. I
Right.
wonder what the other drugs she was talking about. I was like, wait, damn.
Right.
What y'all do all that for? But okay.
Because I remember one time, probably 5-6 years ago, I woke you up. I said, "Yo, how did I even get home? Do you remember me coming in?"
Yeah.
Because I got so drunk that night, I didn't remember coming home.
Yeah. That's very, very dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Very, very dangerous. Whether you are taking an Uber or, God forbid, you do drive, it doesn't matter. Like, it's
Right.
still very, very
It's dangerous.
dangerous.
And I know that was the last time I drunk like that.
Mm-hmm. Because I know some people think Uber is the save all end all, and it's still not technically.
It's not. But anything you can remember, that's a good memory.
Yeah.
Anything.
You hold on to it.
You're like, okay, I remember going to the ATM. Let me see where I went to the ATM at. Now, I'm pretty sure if someone stole something from her, she would have said, damn, somebody took money from me. You know, she would have had two things she was looking at. And where did I go to the ATM at? Where did they steal it from me at?
Yeah. Well, she finds out, hey, the ATM was actually in Camden, but I thought we were in Soho all night because I'm guessing that's where her office is. What was I doing all the way back there?
And how did he walk me back?
Yeah, and then so when she goes to since Simon didn't give her any information over the phone, she goes to her house, and she's not pushing Simon out, like trying to tell all his business in front of his wife, but at the same time she is definitely trying to get answers.
She's trying to get answers, and she's not holding back because his wife is there.
Yeah, like it seems like normally she would have beat around the bush a little bit more, but I felt that she already gave Simon a chance to tell her, hey, what happened last night, and when he did it over the phone, she went there in person. So I actually respect her being so direct and like still being able to keep her cool. So you could tell Simon's lying. His wife obviously probably can tell that he's lying. And then when she goes, well, who ordered the Uber? Because I didn't. He's like, oh, well, maybe D-Ray ordered it. And then the wife was like, well, how did D-Ray order it if you said you met D-Ray back at the bar, you know? And he's like, oh, you know, maybe I ordered it. So when she took a screenshot.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, well,
like,
yeah, D-Ray could have
ordered it and sent them anywhere.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm glad she called him out. And then he said, well, maybe I ordered it. So when she took the screenshot of his phone, I was like, damn, she is quick. Because she just got up and left. She didn't say bye to them. Thank you for dinner. Nothing. She just got up and left. And went straight over to, which ends up being, Alyssa's house.
Right.
Now, what did you think of Alyssa's attitude and everything that she said here in this scene? Like, it was... What did you think?
I wasn't surprised when I seen her. I knew that's where he was at. I knew he left her. There was nothing. When they first, what was it? When she called him.
Mm-hmm.
When she first called him, I believed him. Like, oh yeah, everything was cool, whatever. But as the conversation went on and she said, oh, you walked me. He was like, oh yeah. No, she asked about her head. And he said, oh, you fell.
Right.
He didn't sound like he believed himself. So at that moment, I knew he left her. He went with his little side chick, and whatever.
See, I was kind of slow on it all. Like at first, I knew he was lying when as soon as they start talking to him on the phone, due to the fact that Terry said, "Hey, we just tried to call you from Arabella's phone, but you didn't answer. Now I see you're picking up this phone," which is already the first sign of him dodging her call. But then second, I was slow because when she gets to Alyssa's house and they first see her, I'm like, oh, did they go all back to Alyssa's house and party? So it still didn't register that, no, he left her. And yeah, because I first thought, okay, they all went to Alyssa's house. But then as the conversation with her and Alyssa start going further, and who knows, Alyssa was like, oh, shit, so I got spiked too. Like, because she realizes she blacked out.
Yeah. And a part of her attitude, like that's the question you asked me, what I think about her attitude. Mm-hmm. I think she's in denial.
Alyssa. So you think she got spiked and probably got date raped as well?
I know she got spiked. When we seen the scene where the guy bought them all drinks.
Right.
He bought her a drink, bought him a drink, everyone at the table.
He had a whole bunch of
So
shots.
at that time, he could have spiked all the drinks, or at least the women.
Mm-hmm.
So I know she believes she got spiked, but she's in denial. She believes that he's just a good dude. She don't believe that he would have raped her. Well, he doesn't have any reason to rape her. He would have probably got something that night anyway, and that's what she's thinking. She like, man, he wouldn't have raped me. Are you calling him a rapist? They sleeping together every Thursday. They were sleeping together for 6 months. So in her mind, he has no reason to rape me. That's not necessarily saying that he wouldn't, but in her mind, that's what she's thinking.
Yeah. And that's another, I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because yes, even though they have been sleeping together every Thursday, it doesn't mean if she was passed out, I'm not calling Simon a rapist at this point yet, but even if she was passed out, he might have had that same mindset, like, well, she's passed out, but technically she would have slept with me anyways, which is true. She probably would have slept with her anyways, but if he did sleep with her while she was passed out, that is rape. And the fact that she can't remember what happened, and
right, but we're talking about her mindset.
Well, the fact that she can't remember what happened, and the fact that she was so upset, like, I thought her being so upset, yelling at her, I'm like, that just seems so weird. Like, I don't get why she's so angry. And you usually get angry when you're in denial about something. So
I say she's in denial.
Yeah.
And I really don't think that she thinks Simon raped her. And I think she felt some type of way about that. Because if you're saying that about me, you're saying that about Simon. And you're saying that he's a rapist, and you're saying that I allowed myself to be raped.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of people look at it.
Yeah.
I allowed myself to be raped.
Right.
So,
which is why I think she was Arabella was in denial. But that's what makes me think that maybe Alyssa was raped too. Because yes, would she have had sex with Simon? Highly likely. But if she was asleep and she woke up the next day, she's gonna be like in denial, like, nah, Simon wouldn't have done that to me.
Well, let's take her out of the equation. Because we put her in there and there's nothing that suggests that she's been raped. Just period. So
not yet.
So we're adding too much to it right now.
Okay, we're adding too much. Okay. All right.
You're on one right now.
All right.
So let's go ahead and take her out of that situation. I think the part she plays in it is to really let us know that Simon left his friend and left with her.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, because she even said, oh, Simon told you? Well, since he told you everything. So she obviously is holding something back. I don't know if she meant the affair, because clearly they were all hanging out together. I think
she was talking about the affair.
Well, she had to have known that she knew that they were having an affair. They were all together at the bar.
Well, Simon didn't say they were having an affair necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, she's good people. Yeah, let's not talk about it. Remember, he didn't want to discuss it in full detail at the time. Mm-hmm. He was just saying, come on, my wife think you're ugly anyway. Yeah. We're just having a good time right now. He didn't say that this is somebody that I've been with for 6 months.
Right. 6 months every Thursday. So I wonder what lie he comes up with. I just feel okay. Well, I want to get to the Simon. We'll talk about the Simon Cat thing. Let's continue on with Arabella. So pretty much at the station, in which Kwame is the real one. He's a really good friend. He's up there with her, and she's like kind of in denial. She's like, well, I wasn't using that word. I wasn't using those words because I guess the detective, whoever is there, is kind of implying that maybe she got raped or there's some type of sexual assault based on her memories. And even then, her memory, she's like, no, I didn't call my memory. This is just what I've seen in my head. And but then when the detective shows her, like, well, look how I would have looked. You keep saying this person had big nostrils and taller. Look how I looked if you're down and I'm standing up. And when she breaks down and cries, Gary.
Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Because then she knows what happened to her.
Yeah, she has an idea what happened.
But the fact is, she already's gone home because she never even knew. She already gone home, took a shower and everything like that, brushed her teeth. So I don't know how much evidence they are going to be able to find. I mean, luckily they do collect her clothing and everything like that.
And a vaginal sample.
Yes, they did a vaginal sample, so hopefully something's there. It was tough, and seeing all the bruises on her, that was not just a oops, I fell. I mean, it was more than just her knees and everything like that.
Yeah.
Her hip and everything.
Yeah, her hip had a bruise on it.
Right.
Like it was forceful.
Mm-hmm.
Kwame, he didn't look like he felt Simon anyway.
Right.
When Simon was saying, let's go out, let's do this. So there's something about Simon's character that other people know about that she's just looking past.
Right.
And it's always like that. There's something in somebody's character that you can see, but they have friends, and you wonder, how did this person have friends?
Right.
When their character is like this.
Yep.
And then their friends find out later, or people who thought they were their friends find out later, like, man, I didn't know.
Right.
No, you wasn't looking.
Yeah.
Or you thought it was, oh, he's like this with everybody but me.
Yep. And I think that we've all had that happen to us, whether it was a friend or acquaintance, someone, and someone had a funny feeling about them. We're like, oh, why do you hang out with that person? You're like, oh, no, they're cool people. And then something happens to where you see everything that everyone else has already been telling you about this person. You're like, oh, I see, they are not cool people. They're not good. So last thing I want to say with Arabella is her situationship in Italy kept calling her. So this is the guy that said, I don't know when I'll call. So
I told you last week that he was feeling her. He probably feel the same way she feel. Like, I'm trying not to put my heart into this because it's not like we can see each other every day. This is long term. It's not like you're going to move here and I damn sure not moving there.
Well, I think he was calling her for different reasons, Gary.
What reasons?
I think she might have texted him, called him, or something that night, and he might have more information, and that's why he kept calling her back. Like,
that's
calling her, like, hey, what happened? You called me this, or you said this. So, like, I think he has information, that because he doesn't seem like, based on how he was that day, he doesn't seem like a guy that would be stressing to call her multiple times. We've seen him call like 3 times in one day. He doesn't seem like that type of guy, even if he was missing her. And how much could he possibly be missing her? She only came back like a day ago. She's been gone for, like, she just came back, now within 2 days?
Yeah, that's a good theory.
So that's my theory. And then I guess we will end it on Kat doing exactly what Arabella did, and that's she must have got Simon's phone or asked him for his phone. We didn't see what happened after Arabella left, so she goes to Alyssa's house, and I mean, usually I'm not the one that says fight the woman. You should always, like, if your spouse is cheating on you, you need to deal with it with your spouse directly. Plus, you don't want to go to jail for assault.
I don't think she went there to fight.
No, but when Alyssa said, I'm too tired for this shit tonight, like, and slammed the door in her face, bitch, oh my gosh. But see, that's what pissed me off. Like, I would do this, but I'm just too tired. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I feel her. I'm not saying I'm mad at her for what she said. I think everything happened how it happens, and we don't need to do anything. I know what's going on, and now you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Now you need to go handle that. Man, you don't need to be doing that. I'm too tired to do this. I'm too tired to do this anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm about to go back to bed. You got what you was looking for.
Yep, you found the truth.
So either you go handle that, either y'all gonna be together, or you're not.
Well, you hear she said she's been sleeping with Simon for 6 months. That he was like so nervous for her to meet his wife, but she's the one that wanted to meet. So they must have planned that whole, I don't know how it happened.
Well, when a wife planned for the threesome,
he found her.
No, he didn't find her. He already was sleeping with her. Remember, they started looking for the threesome.
Oh, like, just recently.
Recently. Probably within that week.
Okay.
So he probably pulled her out the hat, was like, hey, not put her out the hat, but called her up. Like, hey, this is what my wife want to do. This is the perfect opportunity to meet her.
And she kept saying she likes the drama. That's what she told us last week. And that she's never been anything this long term. Like, she can't imagine 8 years. But I hope the wife goes home and either decides, hey, I'm packing my bags or you're packing your bags. I hope she doesn't forgive Simon.
She's going to.
Because this isn't, oops, I had an affair. Like, you had like a double life, dude. You literally brought the girl to me. Like, it's just
she doesn't know that yet. She doesn't know that yet, and he's going to lie again. But I know she's going to stay with him for the simple fact that this is not his first time. She didn't have this much distrust for him if this was the first time he's done that.
Yeah. That's true too.
So she's still around.
I hope not.
And I don't think she's going anywhere.
I hope she does. I hope. Dang. And to see them sitting there eating dinner, they just looked so, like, Simon just seems like a good dude, you know, on the face of things. And they seemed so good for one another. I mean, they seemed content. So it was just fucked up to see. But I'm glad she went out there, and hopefully she'll make me proud next week. So we'll see.
She may ask for another threesome. She may say, hey, you know, if that's what you wanted, you should have told me. We could have both did that.
Hopefully she don't say no bullshit like that. Clearly, because she already tried that and she wasn't having it. So
yeah, she tried it. I don't think she really wanted to have a threesome. I think that she knows he's out there. Like, you asked, what is he doing every Thursday? What is she saying?
Mm-hmm.
And last week she said something that let us know that she just don't trust him.
Yeah.
So I mean, she knows something going on, and she put it out there like, let's have a threesome. You don't have to go behind my back and do anything. We can do it together. Simon being selfish, Simon being Simon.
Right.
He like, nah, you know, I'm going to still do this on my own.
Right. Right. All right. And if you would like to be part of the podcast, hit us up, host@theverdictsin.com. That is HOSTS @theverdictsin.com. Today we have an email from Chantel, also known as @FashionandFaith on Twitter, if you guys want to follow her. So welcome, Chantel.
Welcome,
Great to have
Chantel.
you. She's been rocking with us since our Walking Dead days, so it's good to see that she is going to be listening to this pod as well as watching with us. She wrote, hey, you guys, I hope the Clarks and the Verdicts In family are doing well in spite of 2020 being the biggest asshole in history. And don't we know it? So many funny TikTok videos. Even I know there's some problems with TikTok, but there's some very funny TikTok videos to get you through all of what's going on in 2020. So highly recommend. All right, so she starts off with saying, I've been missing your pod, so I was thrilled to see that you were covering I May Destroy You. Michelle Cole is amazing. Her talent grabbed me when Chewing Gum debuted on Netflix a while back, and I have been hooked on her since. She does not disappoint with this limited series. I didn't know what to expect at first, but she is hitting all the right notes. I was sweating my ass off under the dryer while watching Sunday's episode, so my notes are agitated and disjointed. Bear with me, please. LOL. No, Chantel always has the best emails. So
she does.
This is gonna be good. She's gonna write about stuff that we didn't even think of. So here goes. She has memories. Arabella's intermittent flashbacks are so haunting. Her process of watching YouTube videos to rationalize them was killing me. It's like she knows deep down that something awful happened to her, but she can't or doesn't want to put a name to it. It's like there has to be another reason why I'm having these visions. This must have happened to someone else and I witnessed it, etc. There was a part of me that didn't want her to fully remember because I know it'll be horrific and I know it will destroy her. At least a part of her. Watching her in the interview room at the police station was so heartbreaking. She's in denial for sure. She can't even handle saying the word assault. She can't deal with the officer, is it Funmi? Calling what happened an assault. Doing so, makes it so real. When it finally hits her, wow.
Yeah, that was a sad moment.
Yeah. When she started crying, like it was, like I said, I kind of teared up because I knew that she knew that, like, those were memories. They weren't just in, like, because she kept saying, they're not memories. I never said they were memories. They're just in my head. And it's like, well, how did it get in your head? Was it a dream? Or was it a memory? Because that's all it could be.
Right. And I think Chantel is right.
Yeah.
I think she was in denial. Mm-hmm. She knew it happened. Deep down inside, she knew this was reality.
Right.
But like we said before, no one wants to admit that they've been assaulted.
Yeah.
A lot of victims feel like, how did I let this happen to me? This is my fault. So it's a sad situation.
Right.
Very sad.
And I'm glad when, like, this Me Too and everything came out, started happening a few years ago, it was good that it was getting spoken about because, one, so many women don't want to talk about it because you see what happens when they do. People judge them. People start talking crap about him. Oh, you're lying. Oh, you're just coming out now that he's famous, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it took courage for them to come out. By the same token, I will say, if someone ever lies on another person, that is horrible, and that person should get punished. should get some type of, because you don't ruin someone's reputation. You know, once you have that,
Right.
once you have that thing on you saying or being accused of something, sometimes it doesn't matter if you're found not guilty or it's
Well, it doesn't matter if you're
out,
innocent or not.
Right. That name's that's going to be always attached to your name. So, I strongly as I stick with women who say it's happened to them, and it hardly ever happens. I would say the ones that lie, but it does. But I don't think it's as common. Gary's looking at me like I'm crazy. I mean, I guess I don't have no statistics on how common it is, but I just don't think it's something that people would lie about often.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I don't have any statistics. I don't have any statistics. I'm just assuming most people would not lie about something like that happens, which is why they always say if one woman says that, believe them, because more than likely they don't have a reason to lie. But yes, I will admit at the same time people do lie. But yeah, when she came to the conclusion and she realized it was pretty sad. All right, next she has friends. Terry is the sweetest friend ever. She's also very intuitive. She knows something has happened to Arabella. You can just tell. I really like her. It will be interesting to see how she handles everything since she introduced Arabella to Simon in the first place. She's going to feel guilty. Kwame is another bomb friend. The way he went with her to the police station, stayed with her during the interview, comforted her afterward. I feel bad that I can't remember the name of Arabella's roommate, but he is awesome too. She has an amazing tribe, and I think they're going to be the ones to help her get justice and to support her along the way.
I agree. I mean, she has a good community around her. A good community of friends. A good set of friends.
I believe her roommate's name is Ben. But yeah, I mean, see, when Arabella left, even when she left to go to her audition, you could tell she didn't feel right about it. Because at first she's like, well, I guess I'll just change my audition. And it's like...
Which I think she did.
She did change it.
I think she pushed it back.
Okay. Because she still didn't, even when she left her to go to her nap, it didn't look like she felt right about it. So, but part of her was like, oh my gosh, this is a big opportunity. Other part of her, she was torn, I think. And yeah, she could definitely tell something was up with her friend. So we'll see how this goes.
And Kwame was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
He didn't want her to go out in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have a deadline, you have to do this. I mean, it's always a good friend to sit there with you while you work.
Right. Just be there.
I mean, he could have been anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But he was just there for her.
Yep. Frenemy. Well, Alyssa is something, isn't she? She is so caught up in her BS that she didn't even take a moment to take in what Arabella was saying to her. And to go off on her like that, wow. I can't wait to see what Simon's wife does next week, because Mrs. Thing slammed that door in her face like she was the one being a bother. Right. But, I mean, Gary did say, like, hey, she doesn't have any obligations to
Kat. She don't have any obligation to any of them. She's not their friend.
Right.
She hasn't been with them for the last 6 months. She hasn't been sleeping with them. I don't know what I was about to say. Probably was real vulgar. But
yeah.
But she hasn't been with them every Thursday for the last 6 months. She don't have any obligation to them. Period.
Yeah.
So if they come to her house, if she slammed the door in their face, so what? So what?
I still just question, like, how mad she got with Arabella. Like, it was just, to me, it was over the top, like, yelling. Like, even after she walked away, she's yelling down at the street at her, like, he's not a rapist. And it was like, whoa, she never even said rapist. So by Arabella even taking it there, to me,
it must have been a thought.
It has to be a thought that's deep down in her head. That's
like
that's
I said,
why she's so
Noah
mad.
wants to be a victim.
Mm-hmm.
And you're accusing me of being raped, and you're accusing him of being a rapist.
Right.
First of all, I haven't been raped. Second of all, he's not a rapist. That's her mindset.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't get raped.
But like you said, if anything, if he had sex with her while she was asleep without her consent, then that's rape.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they got that type of relationship.
And
which I doubt.
And she might even excuse that because she doesn't want to be. No one wants to be the victim, so she might even excuse it and be like, "Well, I would have had sex with him anyways." So
right, but I doubt they have that type of relationship because, like you said, she wouldn't have got this upset.
Right, she was too upset. For I'm like, why are you that mad? Nothing. She didn't even say anything. You're so mad.
But going back, she's not their friend.
Right.
And even with his wife coming, she don't have any obligation to his wife. None at all. his wife, I'm glad you got this information. You got the information you want. Now go take that with him.
Right.
Nobody could come in between your relationship unless somebody allowed them in there. Unless one of the two parties, unless you allow it or he allowed them in there. She didn't sneak in between their relationship. She didn't kidnap him every Thursday for the last 6 months.
Kidnap, yeah. All right. I'm curious to see where Alyssa's story goes, because that anger in her was over the top. So interested to see where that goes. But all right, questions. What the F, Simon? He knows something. His behavior is about more than just hiding his affair with Alyssa from his wife. When Arabella called him, he asked her, he asked her she was bleeding from, not why she was bleeding or what happened. He was so dodgy the entire episode. He knows something, and I want to know what it is. Arabella trusted him. Even as she was giving her statement to the police, she was defending him, calling him her best friend, etc. What does he know? When did he know it? And why is he protecting the rapey guy, Dave?
I don't think he knows anything, and I don't think he's protecting anybody. The only thing that he's guilty of right now is leaving his friend. He had no business leaving his friend with anybody. He invited her there. He should have made sure she got home.
Yeah, I'm thinking, just if I had to just guess right now, I would say maybe he knows she was too drunk, and then those guys were like, oh, don't worry, mate, we'll take her home. We'll take her up to the office. Yeah, no problem. And he was probably thinking like, fuck, I should go. And then Alyssa's like, come on, babe. And then he's like, okay, you sure? You good? And she's like, yes, I'm good. And like, he knew it was wrong to have left her with two strangers. Because maybe by that point, his brother, cousin, whoever that guy was, D-Ray, had already went to the airport. So he knew. So I don't think he knows that she's been assaulted. But now that he's hearing all this stuff, like your phone's broken, you got a bruise on your head, he's realized I fucked up.
Right. And I don't think that he's thinking rape at this moment. Mm-hmm. He's probably just thinking, I fucked up.
Right.
Something happened to my friend. If, they could call each other friends at this point.
Yeah.
But, sometimes people have like just a moment of bad judgment. He's been having a lot of moments of it, but that could have just been a moment where he was like, you know what? You all right? Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and go to her house. I'm already at the house. I'm going over here. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
When I say boom, 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 it just sounds funny, but I'm just going over here.
Yeah.
Etc.
I would say I would be more forgiving towards Simon if after he heard this on the phone, he'd have been like, you know what, let me come see you. I need to talk to you in person. And addressed it in person. And like, you know what, I fucked up. I really didn't take you home. I'm so sorry. Like, I went to Alyssa's house afterwards. They said you were going to take you home. They seem like cool guys. I'm so sorry. Like, what can I help? How can I help you?
Well, he's already in lie mode. That whole night was a lie.
Right.
So, he can't stop now. He's been lying about everything else. He lied about the threesome. He lied about, just hanging out with his cousin when the girl came back. He's just been lying the whole night. Lied about taking her home, staying with her the whole night.
I wonder when Terry, now that you just mentioned threesome, I wonder when Terry said the freest thing she's ever was a threesome. And I wonder if that was with Simon and his wife.
Oh, wow.
Just thinking about it.
That's a good theory.
Just for some reason, it's just in my head.
Right.
And maybe that's why she wasn't invited. She's like, after that, we're not really friends. We can't really go back to regular friends like how we were before.
Right.
So, and maybe that's why his wife was like, she's ugly or whatever she said, because maybe it got brought up like, oh, we can have a threesome with Arabella. And the wife was like, no, I'm not feeling Arabella. Because even when they were looking for people, the first episode, the wife is like, who else we got? Like, who, she was asking about different names. So,
yeah.
All right, Chantel continues. She said, I was roofied about 6 years ago, and let me tell you, I wasn't fit for anyone to want to be around. Why do men do this? Why would you want to be sexually active with someone who can barely function and is puking, sweating, and passing out? How is that hot? How can you get off on that? Why would you violate someone like that? What the fuck is wrong with you? How can you be into someone who is only compliant because they've been drugged? It's so unreal. End of rant.
It does take a special type of asshole, just a sick person to have sex with somebody who's like not functional.
Right. And first, let me start off by saying I'm very sorry that happened to you, Chantel. I don't know if you know the person did it. Fuck them. But I'm very sorry that happened to you, and that's why I don't like it when people say like, oh, well, this happened because the woman was drinking this much, or you. First of all, it doesn't matter if the person was drinking as much. It doesn't mean they're allowed to get raped or they're allowed to get sexually assaulted or whatever. And then second of all,
or they're allowed to get roofied, allowed to get drugged.
Well,
period.
then that's my second thing. Sometimes, like the girl that I mentioned in the club that was to me was getting definitely sexually assaulted. They're like, oh, well, she's just drunk. Like she should have never got drunk. Like what? And I'm like, what? Like it is 2019. We're still like you're blaming the victim, and then not only that, you don't know she's been drugged, and so it's wrong. Like it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And these people, that roofie people or that drug people, whether they actually ended up getting to sexually assault them or whatever, they still need to be penalized to the fullest extent.
They do.
Because you don't, just like Arabella, how we see she has this bruise on her head. What if she ended up dying? You know, what if she had passed out and died? Or what if she had an allergic reaction and died? There's so many effects that could happen from it. So it's poisoning someone. That's ultimately what's going on. But I'm very sorry that happened to you. All right, she says, this show is excellent and there better be BAFTAs and Golden Globes in the future, especially for Michelle Cole. And somebody better give her a beauty contract. I can't wait to hear what everyone else thinks. It's so great to hear your guys' voices again. Take care, Chantel.
Thank you, Chantel.
Thank you, Chantel. Yeah, I like the show. I don't know yet how strongly I feel as far as upcoming awards and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's definitely a conversation or something that needs to be talked about and discussed.
This is a conversation. Yeah.
And like I mentioned, they also did a really good job on this same subject line on Unbelievable, which I highly recommend. I keep saying Unbelievable. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's called Unbelievable or something. But it was a little bit more serious, and it showed it more on the side of all the different aspects, the police, everyone that's involved in a case like that. But Arabella, I think we're going to see more of the person, how it affects the person, and seeing the relationships around her as well, like how it affect those people, you know, because some people can't like they're being good friends right now, but like some people step away because they're like, this is too much for me, I can't handle it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like when something serious happens to someone, maybe a death in the family or whatever the case, and they're like, I don't know how to comfort you.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
So right now...
I was trying to understand what you were talking about, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But right now, like, they're just there for her. Even Kwame, he's trying to, like, get a hookup, but he's there, you know? So, yeah. But I like this show. It's hard to mix humor.
I'm loving this show right now.
Yeah. It's hard to mix humor and, like, something serious at the same time. But they're doing a pretty good job of it. Like, it's not sad and depressing the whole time. It's like you get a laugh here and there. And so...
I don't think we got a laugh this episode.
Well, no, I guess not. I guess not.
Yeah, the first episode, yeah, we got a couple of laughs. This episode just went straight to the point.
I mean, there were some awkward laughs. Like when her, at the beginning, they were talking, her and Terry.
I get what you're saying. I was just trying to point out that this episode was straight to the point.
Right.
This is what it was. I mean, I just love the storyline of this.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have time for the ha-ha because this is a serious situation. I mean, I guess they try to throw some ha-ha moments in, like the crazy girl yelling at her.
Yeah, Alyssa.
Or she's saying, yo, I don't even have time for this, and slamming the door.
Yeah.
I'm too tired for this.
I cannot wait. I hope Kat confronts her husband, and I hope she kicks him to the curb.
She's not. If they're already having threesomes, she already opened her relationship up.
I don't want to blame her. Clearly, this is not their
I don't know if I told the story before about someone I know. I wouldn't call him. It's was an associate of mine, or acquaintance of mine, that, you know, her and her husband decided to bring somebody in a relationship. They brought somebody in a relationship, and they had rules for it. I mean, this person was living in their house and everything. and they had rules like we only sleep together. So you can't sleep with her alone. I can't sleep with her alone. This is just what it is. But she worked night shifts. So she said that, she went to work one night and she just decided, some told her just to go back home. And her husband was in bed with the girl that they agreed that they would only sleep with together that lived in their house. And she said she got upset, kicked the girl out, got a fight with her husband. Boom, boom, boom. He broke the rules. And I was thinking in my head, like, dummy. I'm sorry, dummy. Like, you didn't think that they were going to sleep together without you. You moved this girl in your house. And why does it matter if he sleep with her with you or without you?
Yeah, if you're letting her sleep with her.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, whether you're there or not there. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to judge anybody's, like.
I'm judging. I'm judging. I'm like, what made you think that this wasn't going to happen?
Right.
You opened up the door for this, and although y'all put together these rules or whatever, I don't think you can get mad that he's sleeping with somebody that you're allowing him to sleep with anyway with you, and vice versa. I don't think he could get mad if the shoe was on the other foot.
Right.
Because this is what you brought into your relationship. This is what you opened up.
Yeah, it's interesting. You got to be a special type of person to be able to handle that, and definitely have to have some agreements. And clearly, people break those agreements all the time.
I think once you say this is what it is, if we're sleeping with this person, especially if you move that person in your house,
yeah,
then you need to leave the rules, throw the rules away.
But in this case, Kat and Simon's case is very different because it was more of like an exciting night. Like, it sounded like they were going to get a hotel. It's not even like they were going to bring her back to their house. They were keeping it like pretty far away from their personal life, or at least that's what Kat was thinking.
I understand that, but this is what you're allowing.
Right.
You're saying let's sleep, and maybe you like women, so it works out in your favor. And he loved women, so it works out in his favor. But you're opening that door.
Yeah.
Right now, it turned into an open relationship. It doesn't matter if y'all said, okay, this is what we do, but we only do this together. You open that door up.
I agree.
So she can't be she can be, because you're allowed. I can't say what somebody can be upset about, because you're allowed to be upset about whatever you want to be upset about. But if this is what you're doing and you're accepting it in this time, then you have to accept it in the other time also. You have to accept it when you're not around, or if he's going on a solo mission, just accept it.
All right.
So I don't think nothing's going to come from this. She's going to go back, maybe cry, yell at him, and they're back. The only way that she will leave him, or if she found out that, what's her name, the main character?
Arabella.
What?
Arabella.
If she found out Arabella was raped, that's the only thing that might change her mind or get her to leave this guy, because that changed the whole situation.
Right.
It's one thing that you're just an ain't shit person to me, but it's another thing that you're just an ain't shit person all the way around. And you know how women gravitate to each other, like, you don't want this to happen to nobody.
Right. Well, she was listening very intently
when
Arabella was at their house talking. And she was like, wait, you said you did this. And then even when she got up and left, she was just like frozen, it looked like. So
picture when she find out that this is what happened at night to Arabella.
Yeah.
She was assaulted. She was raped.
Because even if she knows Simon didn't himself rape Arabella, she's definitely going to blame Simon.
She's going to blame him. She won't be able to look at him the same.
Yeah.
So I think
like,
that's
you left
the only
your
thing.
Friend? This was your friend?
That's the only thing that would get her to leave him.
Right. All right. Well, thanks so much, Chantel, for writing in.
Thanks, Chantel.
We would love to hear from more of you guys. Host at theverdictsend.com. That's HOSTS at theverdictsend.com. Or hit us up on Twitter at theverdictsend, and we would discuss it on the podcast. Until next week, I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.
Bye.